know, man. Do you think Freddie should have their 12 goals to shoot time? Hi! Victory puppy! Plan the parade! I have no idea what I'm doing. God, Tavares is a lead! This team is ruining my life! Come on, John Tavares! John Tavares! Hit it with the voice like John Tavares! Blah, blah. Oh, you just want the treat. You just, yeah, take it. Oh, the drool, dude! It's like a faucet! Manners! Who raised you? Leafs win! 7-5 over the Florida Panthers! Let's go through a list of all the things that John Tavares is. By birth, he's Canadian. Through ancestry, he's Portuguese. Contrary to slanderous rumors, he is, in fact, a mammal. Oh, and let's not forget, John Tavares is a Leaf! His 42nd, 43rd, 44th, and 45th goals of the season coming in this one. He moves up to second in NHL goal scoring, just 3 behind Ovechkin, 5 back of 50. It's not so crazy, old Maurice, to talk about that rocket of a man. Let's talk about the game. I'm in a bit of a time pinch. This is a night of video, and of course it was a 12-goal game, so let's go through it super rapid fire fast, and then we'll talk about the finer points of the game. I'll answer your questions and so on. We'll see how much oxygen is left in the room at the end of it. 2 minutes in, Leafs odd-man rush. Kapanen coming up the middle. He sends it over to Kadri. Kadri, sick pass over to Marleau. Ping! 16th of the season makes it 1-0 Leafs early. Only a couple of minutes later, Zaitsev actually makes a very nice little pinch along the half board. Johnson collects it, sends it across the ice to a wide-open Jake Muzzin. Bam! Muzz Lightyear to the rescue, and the Panthers pull Sam Montembeault. What's his name? Apparently we don't need to know it. Montembeault? I didn't even... Okay, can I just say I disagree with that pulling? Because, as Bob McKenzie said on the broadcast, the Leafs are over 100 years old. That is the fastest goalie has ever been pulled against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2 goals on 4 shots. He didn't play either goal spectacularly. I guess it was a mercy pulling because the Panthers defense was in shambles in the first 5 minutes because the Leafs started on time. But unless it's a playoff game and like a game with a ton of meating and you really need to get back into it, I don't think you ever pull a goalie after 2. You gotta give him the third. I get that he's 22 and it was out of mercy and everything, but A little over halfway through the period, power play. On that power play, very early in that power play, Marner with the puck at the point and he fires it on. Tavares gets a little piece of it, but not as big of a piece of it as Aaron Ekblad, who whacks it into his own net. 3-0 Leafs already, and Luongo not faring much better than Montembeault. Shots are 13-3 for the Leafs. The Leafs keeping pressure on. The Panthers try to clear. Hainsey goes for a little bit of a pinch and up, takes a funny bounce and goes the other way 2-on-1. Hainsey not quite back on time, and Howard scores to put the Panthers on the board. Now they're down 3-1. Howard, what's his first name? Jace? If your name is Jace, your goal should only count for half. Is that real? Ugh, Leafs still with a 2-goal lead. About 5 minutes to go in the first. We're still in the first period. Morgan Riley does a good job of keeping the puck in. William Nylander retrieves it. Over to Mitch Marner with a sick backhand pat. Wait, that was Zach Hyman? What, is Marner gonna lose his job or something? Tavares bangs it in. His second of the game. We're 5 minutes in and we already got 5 goals. It's a 4-1 Leaf lead. Ravage a goal every 3 minutes. Are you feeling it? About a minute later, Matheson scores for the Panthers. Boo! And it's 4-2 after 1. Moving on to the second. It was actually a lot more calm. I mean, in comparison to the first, it was a pretty chill period. Until a little under 6 minutes into the period, a rush with Tavares, Riley, and Nylander. Nylander kept ending up on the ice at the same time as JT. Riley to Nylander for the breakup. That's at their blue line. At the red line, Nylander to Tavares. At their blue line, Tavares to Riley. Riley on net, stop on Luongo, Tavares bangs it in, and you know what that means. Hat trick! John Tavares with his first hat trick as a Leaf. Just kidding, he's done it before. You might even call it old hat, and it's 5-2 Leafs. Come on, how are we doing for time? Believe it or not, that was the only goal in the second period. We move on to the third, where it was nice and calm and cool, and the Leafs just rode off into the sunset. Just kidding, that's not a thing they do. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. Back to therapy, you take credit or debit. But we're not even at the therapy part. For Leaf fans, anyway. Less than 4 minutes in, Nikita Zaitsev throws it on. Hyman gets a piece of it, it doesn't go in. Mitch Marner retrieves it, he sends it to a wide open. Why is the guy with a hat trick wide open? John Tavares, who is a Leaf, by the way, with his 4th of the game. That is special. You don't get to score 4 goals every day. You gotta put some tape on that puck. Oh, wait a sec. Sorry, you won't be needing that anymore. You gotta put some tape on that puck. And of course, on this momentous occasion with the Leafs up 6-2, they rode off into the sunset. Nope! Very shortly after, it was actually kind of a crazy goal. Evgeny Dadonov coming in, Barkov getting hauled down, the puck is in the air, Huberdeau bats it out of midair.
And he celebrates like this because they're down 6-2.
See, I gotta imagine Jonathan Huberdeau wasn't in a good mood. After all, his team was losing by 4 goals, but look at the NHL this season. I'm loving the trend of guys celebrating when they're down big because, dude, you might come back. Heck, look at this game. But not just yet. But a minute and a half later, a lot of goals in rapid succession. Morgan Riley with the puck, he sends it to Zach Hyman in front, spins, fires, woo! Not a bad one for Zach at all, and how about that? Zach Hyman with his 20th goal of the season. That had to feel good, and the Leafs are up what is it, 7-3 now? And Morgan Riley on that play getting his 50th assist of the season, becoming the first Leaf since Thomas Caberlet to get 50 assists in a season. That was in 2006. And it's funny, some people might go, yeah, well, there was an offense explosion this year, so... No, dude, 2006, coming out of the lockout, there was an offense explosion then, too. Give Riley full marks. He's had a fantastic season, and Zach Hyman finally hitting 20. And I feel like I can't go any more of the video without mentioning it. I'm not getting emotional about Zach Hyman hitting 20. It's allergies. They're hitting, just nice and hard early this season. It's fun. I love it when every aspect of my face is uncomfortable in 3 different ways. Something almost as annoying, the Florida Panthers in the final 10 minutes of this game. About 6.5 minutes ago, Jonathan Huberdeau, ping right off the post. That was beautiful. The Panthers still down 3. Howard trying to hit John Tavares. He gets into a bit of a dust-up with Ron Hainsey, and they sit in the box and they say some bad words at each other, and then Howard comes out of the box and he scores his second of the game, but remember his name is Jay, so it's still only 1, and with 2.5 to go, hey Doc, I know it's late, but they're doing it again! But it's okay, the Leafs hold on. John Tavares is second in the NHL in goals. He scores 4 goals in a single game. Morgan Riley with 50 assists on the season, that's incredible. Zach Hyman hits that 20-goal milestone. Next up is Kasperi Kapanen. It's wonderful. What can we possibly complain about? And so, we get to our questions of the game. A lot of you asked this one, so I'm not going to post a tweet, I'm just going to say it. Do you think Freddie Andersen is hurt? And the answer, Leafs Nation, is no. I do not think Freddie Andersen is hurt. I know Freddie Andersen is hurt! Sit, you stubborn Dane! I understand the concept of playing through injury, and I know that the Leafs want to fine-tune things before the playoffs. Did that look fine-tuned? Neither team could catch a cold in this one, and that's an accomplishment because it was in Toronto. The greater Toronto area's got like 6 million people in it, and at the moment, about 8 million of them are sick. In the first period, Freddie winced. He looked hurt. He was getting run in this one and bumped into. It wasn't a comfortable affair. I pray he is not hurt. It's possible that he is not hurt. I'll tell you what, he looks hurt, but more than hurt, because any goalie could, any athlete, maybe you tweak something and then it feels fine. You're not worried about it. But he looks exhausted. The Leafs' next 2 games, they get Philadelphia on Wednesday and Ottawa on Saturday. Both are on the road. And Freddie? Nope. Neither of them. Seriously, I am genuinely going to judge the Leafs and potentially even think less of them if they start Freddie in either of those games, especially the Philadelphia one after this. Look, hey, you want to fine-tune for the playoffs? Your final 4 games are the Islanders in Long Island, the Hurricanes, the Lightning, and Montreal. Islanders are the Islanders. They're good. They always get up for the Leafs now that John Tavares is in town. The Hurricanes are a fantastic team. It looks like they're going to make the playoffs. The Lightning are the bloody Lightning, and Montreal, that game could potentially be them fighting for a playoff spot. You want to fine-tune your lineup? You want to know what they look like in a playoff-like scenario? 4 games. Huge. All of them. Islanders Hurricanes is a back-to-back, so you have them split it. So seriously, here's the way it should play out. Sparks should start against Philly. 1000%. I wouldn't mind if Freddie played against Ottawa on Saturday. That's enough time off, you get a good indicator of where he's at. Then maybe you start Andersen against the Islanders. That's probably what Babcock's going to do anyway. It's the front half of a back-to-back. Sparks starts against Carolina on the second half of a back-to-back, and that's at home, and it might be with McElhaney, which wouldn't that be fun and perfect? And then Freddie, if you want, Tampa and Montreal at the end, you fill your Danish boots. But Freddie, buddy, we need you. I'm not talking we the Leafs. We, Leafs Nation, Leafs fans. We need you, buddy. And oh, just so there's no confusion, the Leafs need you too. You've already played hurt this season. You've admitted that you played hurt this season, and then you missed time. Freddie, use your head. But I love you. See, this is how this works. This team is ruining my life, but I love them. All right. Said what I had to say. Questions. Is the Marner, Tavares, Hyman line the best in the league? No, it's not the best in the league. It is extremely good. I think it's in the conversation. But like, you look at the Pasternak, Bergeron, Marchand line, for example. On the right wing, you got Marner versus Pasternak. Premier goal scorer in the league, premier playmaker in the league. Tavares, Bergeron, well, you got one of the best goal scorers in the game and arguably the greatest defensive forward of all time. And then on the left, you got Marchand and Hyman. Marchand might get 100 points. It's not an insult to give the nod to them. We also saw that 3-headed monster in Colorado. That line went directly up against them earlier in the season, and they kind of got eaten alive. I think that line has gotten better as the season has gone on, but not the best in the league. Probably the best the Leafs got, and what the Leafs also got is depth. Ooh, what has been your favorite Leafs game to watch recently within the past few weeks? And what has been your least favorite game to watch recently? Least favorite is easy. The loss in Ottawa, I didn't even watch a third of it. That's one of the worst games they've played in the past half decade, and there are some contenders. Best game, and this is a little bit dark, but it's got to go back to the John Tavares Ovation game. And I was there, so it's a little bit different, and I got to experience that magical moment, but also the Leafs looked great at both ends of the ice, and from start to bloody finish. I have been a miserable brat to watch Leafs games with recently. The almost comeback against Chicago, so what? The comeback against Philly was fun and it made me feel good after making me feel real bad. And the Oilers game, that was wonderful. Until the final 90 seconds, and then what the hell was that? Man, Travis, Jake, get well. And Anderson, get well. At least those guys sat out. Spring Hainsey or Spring Polak, that's the T. Or the Gatorade. Yeah, that picture, by the way, is Hainsey being an absolute legend while Howard Lux is just screaming at him in the box and he's ignoring him. Dude, Hainsey for sure. Last season, Hainsey had such a good start, I thought, and then he got this illness. Zaitsev got it too, and neither of them were ever the same. Zaitsev got better. Hainsey was a ghost of himself for the rest of the way. Hainsey this season, I know his metrics aren't always the greatest, but he seems to be getting better as the season progresses. Getting in there a little bit more on offense. He's even got a little bit of swagger, and he's not wilting when there's confrontation. I saw there was some talk today, it was Hard of Vlad talking about the Leafs are going to call up Callie Rosen next weekend, and Travis Dermott will be back. Maybe Hainsey sits a game or two. And dude, he's old. Like, I wouldn't mind that for his own well-being and having a rest. He minds it. He said it in the media. But dude, if it comes down to having to pick between him and Zaitsev, I know who I'm picking. It ain't Zaitsev. I'll end with this. Audiobook? Okay, so I don't have concrete info on the audiobook. I don't want to say anything and get myself in trouble. I got an email today. I liked the email. We'll see where it goes. And I think I mentioned this last video, but I will say it again. If you were still waiting on a pre-order, first of all, I'm sorry. That sucks so much and I have no control over it. But if you can prove your purchase, if you have proof of purchase, you can contact ECW Press. They will give you a free ebook because you bought the damn book and you deserve it. I'll also throw it out there that if you have a Costco membership and there's a Costco near you in Ontario, chances are they're full of the book. Costco's got lots of books. I also know if you did pre-order it on Amazon and you're one of those people waiting, if you're waiting for it to get restocked in the Indigo stores, I know that reinforcements are on the way. I can tell you that for sure. In fact, check this out. On the Chapters Indigo website, just a few days ago, it said that the book was totally out of stock, and now it says ships within 1 to 2 weeks and available in stores. The long and short of it, they printed a bunch of books, they ran out of books, and then they printed way more books, and now all those books are coming out. And hey, speaking of which, I got a book tour that starts this Thursday. That's going to be in Toronto at the Eaton Centre. Friday, we're going to be at the Chapters in Red Oak, Ottawa. Saturday, Chapters Vega and Mississauga. Sunday, Coles Penn Center in St. Catharines. Wednesday, April 3rd, Oshawa Indigo. April 5th, I'm going to be at Klutz and Chara. That's a hockey card store in Kitchener. April 7th, Mississauga Costco. Monday, April 8th, Costco Westminster. That's in London. And April 9th, Costco Schwallywood. Why aren't you coming to my city? I know! I have a wish list of cities. It is unreasonably long, but I want to try to get to it anyway. I cannot add a single other date until the playoff schedule is released. Once it does, give me some time, we'll figure it out, and some more dates will get announced. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I brought down a lot of hats. I like hats. So this hat fits me. It's so rare. Leave it to Eric Lindros to make a hat that actually fits my head.